Welcome to the Cinepals special Alan is Sick episode. I'm Greg, and this is Alan. I will be trying to talk for him as much as possible today because he is at death's door. Isn't that right, Alan? Yes, it is. Fantastic. This week, we have chosen to review not a movie, but instead a comedy special called Tragedy plus Comedy equals Time. Patton Oswalt's brand new comedy special.
If you watch my special backwards, I learned not to sweat while people are laughing. Please watch my special, Tragedy plus Comedy equals Time. And thanks for your support.
So I guess we better just dive into this thing. I mean, what else is there to talk about other than the fact that it's an hour long? It's a guy who happens to be a stand-up comedian standing in front of a room full of people in San Diego.
Doing jokes.
Talking, yeah.
Telling jokes.
That's about it. So really weak from a plot point of view.
Yes.
Should we...
Yeah. 3 out of 10 for the plot.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Patton Oswalt in general.
I know we're both fans.
Yes, we are.
We're both big fans of Patton Oswalt. I've heard literally everything he's recorded, and that has been released on CD.
Right. I think I've heard all of it too, but maybe not. I feel like there's probably something I've missed.
Have you heard the Patton Oswalt 222 or Zzz?
No.
That one? Basically, it's No Reason to Complain, except
oh right, but it's
completely uncut.
You told me about that.
Yeah, it's like a 4-hour marathon, and it's possibly one of the greatest things I've ever heard. Even though I think No Reason to Complain is a little bit compared to his other stuff.
Right.
I think his best is Werewolves and Lollipops.
Mm-hmm.
But the full length of No Reason to Complain really makes me oh my god, this guy is something else. He just goes, and when he's when his beer is empty, he's like, fill it up, let's keep going. So that's why at the end of No Reason to Complain, he's like, are we still recording? My god, thank you, good night, because he's been up there for 3.5, 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, it's pretty cool. So where do you think this one falls in his pantheon of specials?
His stand-up specials?
Yeah.
I really like this one, but...
Because we're talking about Patton Oswalt, the comedian, not the actor
yes.
right now.
Yes. Yes, I rank this just below Ratatouille.
But, of course.
No, I think it's a really solid special. It's definitely not my favorite, but that's not to say that it's bad by any means. I feel like this special of all his specials has the least kind of through line, I guess. He's at this weird point in his career where he's so big and so well known that he doesn't really need to. He can just do bits about fame, about like he has a whole bit in this thing about a show he did.
Can I say I think that's one of my favorite bits that Patton Oswalt has ever done.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's one of his best because it shows okay, how about this? We're in spoiler territory now. This is going to be a quick review.
Yeah.
So since we're in Spoilerville, I'll just let's just come out and say it. He has this bit about halfway through. It's the centerpiece of the show. It's his longest bit that I've heard in a long time, by far. If you check out the track listings on any of his other stand-up shows, you have to go back to, I think, No Reason to Complain for a bit this long.
Okay.
Anyway, it's about him getting paid. He says, to quote him, do you need to leave?
I'll let you go.
Excuse you.
Why did we do this? I'll let you talk.
I can't even begin to... All right, so he says, quoting him, that he gets paid a sacrilegious amount of money to... This feels so stupid. I feel so stupid doing this alone. It's
What
like
if I sneeze again?
I'm talking to a little black dot. That is a cat. There we. Are you back? Are you good?
I don't know.
All right.
I thought it was okay, and then a sneeze happened, and then it made me laugh, and that made my throat hurt.
Okay.
I got my lozenge.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
I'm ready. I'm really professional.
Hey, kids. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
An asshole.
Hey, whoa.
Hey, calm down, Nancy. It puts hair on your chest.
Let's go.
Anyway, he talks about like the fame monster, for lack of a better word, and how yes, all he has to do is stand in front of a crowd, and they'll shout his filmography
roles,
at him, and he'll agree with it,
And they'll cheer.
and it was the best performance he'd ever done.
Yeah, he said like he's the most money he's ever made on a show,
Yeah.
and he's never left an audience happier.
Yeah.
And he did none of his material.
He didn't tell a single joke. And I have to imagine that that's where comedians like him, Louis C.K. and Jerry Seinfeld and George Carlin have all found themselves at one point in their career. And all you have to do is decide what you want to do with it.
Right.
Seinfeld decided that, luckily, I just told you 4 awesome examples of people who did great things with it.
Yeah.
Seinfeld decided to stop doing Seinfeld and just flushed his whole act down the toilet and then rebuilt it, right? And he's mega famous. He's still doing stand-up because it's what he loves. George Carlin was being offered left and right shows for him to do. It's not what he wanted to do. So he just kept doing HBO stand-up specials. I think he has 17.
17 specials?
Yeah.
That's not surprising, yeah.
HBO stand-up specials. And Louis C.K. is doing the exact same thing because his model is George Carlin.
Yeah.
The 1 year and done, right? And Patton Oswalt also does the thing. It takes him a little bit longer to set up an hour-long special, but you know what? That's fine. If they keep being this quality, I'm more power to them.
Yeah.
I do think the first half is the weaker half of the hour.
Of this special?
Yeah. I think it's very much the weaker half of the hour.
He
The
has-
highlight of the first half is his depression joke.
Right. His specials do all seem to have a formula in a very, very, very strict sense. Or, very loose sense.
So the opposite of what you said.
Yes.
All right.
I said the wrong word.
You are sick.
Get off my back. I said the opposite word that I meant to say.
Yeah, continue.
Alright. In that he'll open it talking about his weight
Yep.
and his figure. He even made a joke, I think it was in the Finest Hour, his last special, where he talked about how every single special I'm going to come out and be like, I gotta lose some weight. And, 20 years from now I'll be out on a rascal scooters. Gotta lose some weight. But it is interesting how he keeps kind of going back to that well at the beginning of every special.
That's not an unheard of thing to do. Like Lewis Black, one of my old favorite comedians. I don't really listen to him very much anymore.
Yeah.
But every time he would come out, literally every single time, they would do a big round of applause, and he would say, "That's fucking enough." It's like, I am not going to live up to anything you've just done, so let's just calm ourselves down. He's like I know that's a standard self-deprecating thing, but Lewis Black is the king of it.
Yeah.
Like, he does it in such a different way every single time that it doesn't sound like, how many different ways can you do that?
Yeah.
Listen to his albums, and
Right.
you'll know. There's so many different ways to do it, just like Patton Oswalt's weight bit.
Yeah.
There are so many different ways to do it. And the best way to do it is call yourself out on the fact that you're doing it all the time.
Yeah.
And he does that in Finest Hour.
Yeah, that's great.
Not this one, but I do like how he talks about how he always looks like he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think that's a good one. Yeah. I also always found that Patton Oswalt's specials have about the first 10 minutes I'm not very into.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hits on a joke that just sends it off.
Yeah.
For me, it came a little bit later, and it was his suicide joke.
Okay.
Yeah, that was about 15 to 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that just took it off, and I was with him the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think it's it's definitely a good special. I've only seen it twice so far.
Yeah, I managed to watch it again today.
Yeah, and so I've with any stand-up specials, I often will love them the more I watch them, and I think that'll probably be the case with this one. But there's also been ones that like I immediately loved. Louis C.K. is hilarious, for example.
That was one I was going to say. That was the one that took me a little while.
Oh, really? See, it was the opposite for me. I immediately thought this was one of my favorite stand-up specials I've ever seen.
Shameless and Hilarious, I couldn't stand.
Really?
When I first watched them. Well, maybe it's because I first watched them with you, and I was really depressed at the time.
Oh.
And watching Louis C.K. when you're really depressed is like... just like drinking lots of whiskey with a gun in front of you. It's not a good combination.
No.
So I guess I had that stuck in my mind for a lot longer, and it's why it took me so long to really enjoy the show, Louis.
Okay.
As well as his specials. But when the Live at the Beacon came out, I was on board all the way, especially the Giselle the Puss bit. I think that's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Just throws the mic down.
Yeah.
Giselle the Puss, when he comes in, he doesn't do none of that shit. He just walks in and just sheds it all. He just...
I'd love to see Patton Oswalt on Louis.
On Louis?
Yeah, that would be really cool. That would be very, very cool.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. It's gotta happen in the works.
Well, he's had a year off, so...
2 years.
Has it been 2 years?
I think... well, yeah, I think so.
Wow. Anyway.
Yeah, that's...
Anyway. Let's talk about some things that may not have worked.
Sure.
In this. Patton Oswalt, I think, is a little softer now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. He grows up.
Yep.
People grow up. People mature. I think it's more obvious with him than it is with a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
Because he's so very, like, in his early stuff, he's so, like, boisterous and loud and rebellious and alternative comedian, right? And now he's somehow made his way onto the A-list, and he's like, okay.
I wonder, too, if it has something to do with, being a father, and now his daughter's a bit more grown up. Because one thing I notice in most Patton Oswalt stand-ups is there's always at least one, like, vulgar sentence that is just, like, the most inventive and weird thing I've ever heard.
And it wasn't in this.
And there wasn't any of that in this one, yeah. Like, there wasn't anything about twatmas. There wasn't anything about...
Uncle Touchy's Naked Puzzle Basement.
Puzzle Basement.
What was the... It was G-rated filth?
Yes.
There was no G-rated filth?
No G-rated filth, yeah. Yeah, like, it was missing that moment of, like, I never thought of you putting those two words together to make that disgusting of an image.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patton.
Yeah. I will use this.
I'll take that to my grave.
Thank you very much. It will bring me such joy later on in my life.
Yeah.
No, there was none of that. He was missing a lot of his clever wordplay as well, which gave way to, I think, more longer stories with fewer big laughs, but like laughs sprinkled in, which I'm okay with. That sort of joke telling, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I don't think it holds up as well on repeat listens as like joke. But I think it does. I think it does hold up. Like you can't listen to it in piecemeal. You'd have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
To really get it. This is one of the only comedy shows that I can actually comment on about the stage and the lighting.
Okay.
Because if you notice, the lighting changed whenever he went to a new bit.
No, I didn't notice.
You didn't?
No.
Next time you watch it,
I will.
look for that. Like it's a big stage, starry background, and the lighting changes whenever he does a new bit, and it's kind of, I thought it was kind of neat the first time I watched it. Today, I thought it was distracting.
Interesting.
And now that I've pointed it out, you're probably going to be distracted.
I might be distracted by it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. Standout scene.
I think my standout scene
Or
or standout
bit.
joke,
Yeah.
standout bit, and this is often my favorite jokes with stand-up specials is the really long ones, the big long payoffs, and I really liked the story about his daughter watching the werewolf Wolfman scene, and then watching Schoolhouse Rock, and getting a nightmare about Schoolhouse Rock rather than the Wolfman, and laughing about the Wolfman thing, and it plays on. What I liked is it plays on your expectation, but it also plays on Patton's expectations.
Yeah.
You were in his mindset with that whole bit, and I thought it was really funny, and it was kind of cute too. Like I said, it's him growing up and being a father and having a daughter now, but it's also kind of sweet to see him, to hear him tell these stories about being a father and that kind of stuff. Just like in the last special about his dance parties with his daughter and stuff. I like those. I think they're really sweet. Like I miss the twat mist Patton, but I also enjoy the.
We'll always have that.
Yes. Never forget twat mist.
Yeah, of course. Oh my god, I'm gonna bleep that.
Is that loud on YouTube? Sorry, Greg. How many times can I say twat mist to make Greg have to bleep it out?
At a 20-minute video. We'll see. And go. Stop.
I will.
How
about you?
Mine was definitely the casino.
Okay.
Yeah, it showed a level of self-awareness, a level of gratitude to his fans, also a level of dedication, and just some really great comedy writing, I think. Because that's exactly the thing that I'm talking about. Like, it's the big long joke. I'm a very big fan of those, just like you. Big long joke has a great payoff at the end, and has so many really funny moments sprinkled out through it. It's like, I got paid a sacrilegious amount of money. Jesus would be furious. When I got to the hotel, it was the biggest room I'd ever seen, so I told her to come and get me at 7. I'd jerk off in 2 of the rooms. I didn't know what to do. I thought that was so funny.
So
and then he's like the 40 drunkest people I've ever seen, and they're just gonna go get more drunk. And the little adventures that he has on the way of this big adventure is very funny for me. So that was my favorite part.
It's true what they say about working
You're
with
such a
kids.
jerk.
Oh, shut your screech holes.
I'm calling my mom. I'm calling my
Hi,
lawyer.
I'm America's Comedy Goblin from that show you like.
Maybe we can rank this in his pantheon of stand-up specials so far.
Yeah, I'd say I'd rank it. Let's see. So we've got No Reason to Complain, Werewolves and Lollipops, My Weakness is Strong,
Finest Hour.
Finest Hour, and then this one. Those are his big ones, right?
Those are the big ones, yeah.
I definitely would probably rank it below Werewolves and Weakness. Those are my 2 faves.
Mine too.
And I'd probably put it on par with Finest Hour, and with No Reason at the bottom.
I would put it just above Finest Hour. Yeah, and the same thing.
Yeah, No Reason at the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, No Reason's great, but it's just it's him still working out his.
Yeah, it's very scattershot.
Yeah.
It's very scattershot, and some of the jokes are like just him yelling.
Yeah, and some of them go on a bit too long, and they're
Yeah.
not that funny, and it's like, all right,
Yeah.
we get it.
The stuff that they cut in ZZZ
Yeah.
is actually funnier than some of the stuff they kept in. I think it was like a lot of the stuff that they did was like X-Men and Spider-Man stuff.
Oh, cool.
Stuff that would later become like his trademark.
Yeah.
But I think maybe his producer was like, no, we gotta cut that shit.
Yeah.
That's not gonna sell. I want a Green Lantern ring. I love that bit. Okay, you know what? Yeah, it's on par with Finest Hour.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's they have very much the same kind of vibe.
Yeah, I agree.
Except Finest Hour is a little bit more of the bitter and angry Patton
right.
that he talks about.
He's softened a bit in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's less bitter without any reason
Right.
in this one. Which, take it what you want. If that's what you want, that's great. And if it's not, then Finest Hour.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Overall rating?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
Yeah.
All right.
That was fine. Nothing great, but nothing awful either.
All right.
Yeah.
See it. Definitely watch it. Especially because Louis C.K.'s stand-up special is relatively new. Oh my God, it's still relatively new. You can watch these in like a 2-hour block and just laugh yourself silly. It's gonna be great. Two comedians at the top of their game,
Yes.
and watch those as a double bill, and you'll have a great night.
There you go.
Yeah. Here comes my favorite part.
And here comes the part where I'm nervous because Greg might be mad. So I think I decided that this time I'd like to, because it is, as we talked about, January, well, February now, I guess, the dredges of cinema.
Yes.
So right now there's not a lot of new films out that I really think I want to see and want to talk about.
January and February are the dumping grounds for cinema.
Exactly. Where they take out
They take out the trash.
But yeah, so I want to do a retrospective. I want to talk about a film that we've both seen, but perhaps have not seen in a long time. I know I haven't seen it in a long time. It's one of my favorite movies, and I'd like to watch it again and talk about it with current eye. And that movie is Being John Malkovich.
I've wanted to watch that again for so long.
There you go.
I've been like, why can't I do this? I need to watch this right now.
There you go. Now
And
you have a
then,
reason.
yeah, now I have a legitimate reason. Yes, this is why it's my favorite part. I really like that.
Great.
Really great stuff.
Yeah.
I
So
like
next
it.
time we'll be talking about Being John Malkovich from 1999.
Yeah.